good. Alrighty. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get started, I guess. We're gonna try to go a little slower this go around. I know that last meeting, especially for our newer folks, was really quick. There's some things we just had to kind of take care of real fast. First of all, everyone meet your vice chair, Miss Sam Little down there.
Hello, nice to meet y'all.
So roll call, everybody is here, so we're good on there. We need to approve the previous minutes. Those were emailed out a couple weeks ago, and then everyone has a copy of those today. So this will be where we actually vote, similar to what we did last month, where someone will
Motion.
Second.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Everyone in favor? Awesome. And so we have Sam and Logan. Cool. All right, so first off, for our business discussions, we'll do any kind of city updates. That'll be where Ryan will take over briefly to go over anything. What's up, Sam?
Can we do introductions real quick? Because there's three new
doesn't know everybody
faces,
else.
and I was shamelessly not here last time.
Well, you can start and then we'll go around the room.
Hi, I'm Sam Little. This is my third and final year on the board, if I'm not mistaken. Right, that's how that works. You're on for 3 and then you're off for 3.
I think so.
Cool. So this is my third
It's Monday.
and final year on the board. I am your vice chair. I work at UCA. I got my master's degree in plant physiology, specifically trees. I love trees. That's why I'm here.
All right, Gabrielle,
Who are you?
go to you.
I'm Gabriella. I'm also a student at UCA,
Oh, nice.
and I just really wanted to be involved in my community. I love the nature and stuff. So,
Neat. What's your major?
music education and music composition.
Nice. If you ever have to take any science courses and are over in the microbiology area, I'm the lab coordinator for microbiology.
Okay.
I've been staff there for a couple years now since I finished my master's with UCA. And you, what was your first name again?
Gabriella
And what's your last name?
Stanford.
Wonderful. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Tyler Moses. I live downtown. I moved to Conway 2-3 years ago. We've done a whole lot of work on our house. It was like completely just grass and nothing else. And so we've done a massive amount of landscaping. And I said last meeting that she had actually come out and looked at a tree that we were concerned about and wanted to have checked. And so that's when I first found out about tree board, and then a tree a couple of houses down fell, and it was a big debacle in our neighborhood. So I've interacted with tree board a few times, but I've been in Conway for about 3 years. Did not study plants in college, but total plant fanatic.
It's a niche most people don't.
I actually went to school as biology and plant physiology. I was like, okay, I gotta switch my major. This is a little bit too much for me.
Hey, I never took a single plant class in all of undergrad, so.
I really enjoyed like
Fair
micro and developmental, and then I was even botany was good, and then I got into plant physiology. I was like, okay, this is too intense. Oh, first C, and then switched my major.
Once again, my name is Skylar. Last name is Swope. I work for the Parks Department. I am your chair for this year. This is my 3rd year on the board as well. Yeah.
My name's Robert Eric Bell. I'm here for community engagement and because I love how beautiful the city is and I want to keep it that way. I've also got a lifelong interest in plants and I've privately studied for many, many hours.
Nice.
Ryan Robeson, work in planning. We're out through there. If you guys have any questions, just let me know.
Logan Pryor, I work for Conway Corporation. I'm not sure how long I've been here, but I think we joined about the same time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 3 years.
About 3, yep.
And I'm Krista Quinn, County Extension Agent for Horticulture and a certified arborist.
Cool.
I noticed on the minutes for last month, that Fisher, was also absent. Is that Harold Fisher?
Yes.
And so is he a new?
He just serves in
I don't
an
think that's-
He's
advisory.
not required to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, got it.
I don't think they're kicking Harold off anytime soon. Okay. So we'll go back to our business discussion here. So for city updates, we'll let Ryan kind of update us on anything city-wise.
Not a lot. I know there's the landscape ordinance that you've probably heard about. There will be a public meeting for it. I'll let you guys know when that is. They're gonna make changes to it, so it's still a work in progress, so sit tight, don't worry too much about it right now.
So even though it was approved on I think it was the 14th of this month, 02506, it's still,
Yes.
cool. Okay, thank you for understanding my
Yes.
silent reading.
Other than that, I don't have anything.
And then as far as the grant stuff, I know Krista has a little bit of information.
Yeah, I mean, I can go over kind of what the grant is, if you guys want. So we applied for a grant, new folks, and we received the grant through the, what's the agency?
It's Arkansas Agriculture Department Forestry Division.
And the purpose of the grant was to develop an urban forestry plan to provide crucial data for the disadvantaged tracts in Conway. Planning me will help guide the care and management of trees, create inventories, make assessments, engage the public, and compile data. We received the grant of $250,000, all contractual. Right now, we're in the process of putting an RFQ together to put it out there to get bids. It's kind of slow right now because we're still kind of waiting to see what the federal government's gonna do.
It is a federal government.
It is a federal government
Federal
grant,
grant, yeah.
so we're waiting.
So is
to
there
get-
a risk to have it rescinded, or?
I mean, there's a chance.
There's a risk
Well-
that it will not be funded as was,
As awarded.
yes.
So we're kind of just waiting to see there. We were getting our RFQ together. That'll be coming out in the next probably month and a half. And then we'll just go from there. There'll be things for the planning or for the tree board to do on it. But we just need to see where we're at a month and a half from now. And we'll go forward.
And I
And
think
I'll
we,
keep everyone updated.
I think we have until November of 27 to
Yes,
complete
November
the
of
work.
27 to spend the money, so we've got a long time where.
So we can kind of just sit on it until we really get confirmation
Yeah,
about
we're thinking,
funding.
how long was it gonna take the study?
I think it was 16 to 18 months we thought it would take to actually do the project.
So we've got a while.
Yeah.
We don't have to do anything immediately.
I am fairly new to grant stuff. I had no idea what RFQ was. And
Request for qualifications.
Yep. And so we're in the process of reaching out to different companies to see if they qualify and meet our standards to see whether or not we would be willing to award them the contract. Then we will be negotiating a contract as to exactly what we want to receive, what we want them doing, etc.
Yeah, and any company can submit qualifications, just not the few we've spoken to in the past. So it's open to everyone, then we'll review the qualifications and determine who we'd like to do the project with, and then we'll talk money after that.
And we've got $250,000 if it is fully awarded. So we applied for $250,000 and we were told yes to that amount. And so now we want to be cautious, ensure that money hits the bank account before we actually.
Well, it's a reimbursement based
Yep.
grant. So we don't really want to have any expenses that aren't gonna get reimbursed. So we want to make sure that the city does not end up out anything. And it was a pretty unique opportunity because it was actually a zero matching grant. So it was 100% of the funding was gonna be from the grant, which is really pretty unusual for these types of things.
And so we are super excited about it and taking our time with getting it going because we do have upwards of a couple years and it won't take a couple years for it to be implemented. And so.
And I'll keep you guys updated every meeting where we're at with it.
Well, and actually, as a little bit of background too, since we do have 3 new members, part of the reason we're interested in getting an urban forestry management plan together is that actually when the tree board was established in the original ordinance, that was what it said our job was as the tree board. So this would be completing a major step in what the tree board is supposed to do.
And City of Conway is also one of the Tree City USA cities. And it is part of being a tree city that we need this plan that we currently don't have. And so I'll be fulfilling that obligation as well and keeping us in good standing as a tree city.
Cool. So speaking of our tree board and tree city, just some more overview exactly what you guys have signed up for and what we do. So as Krista mentioned, so the tree board was founded in 2006. So now hearing that we're getting very close to completing the original assignment for the board that was from 2006 is why it's a big deal that we just so happen to get lucky to be the ones on the board when it happens, ideally. But I mean, this is like a lot of years of a lot of different people volunteering and putting in work that got us to that point. But you know, we are here to help with the protection of the natural beauty in Conway, to promote the health and safety to the residents, and to protect our environment. We kind of do that through, you know, awareness, education, and engagement. There's a lot of you guys who probably didn't know we had a tree board. Tyler, you mentioned that you didn't learn about that until very recently. There's still a bunch of people who don't know that I am even on the tree board that are in my own family. So awareness wise, we still have that to work on, but I can say that in the 3 years that I've been here, we've done a lot with that. And I know that I knew about the tree board before I came here. So I know that's been an ongoing process of just making people aware that the tree board exists.
Well, having the tree board is one of the requirements to be a Tree City USA community. So actually, it's the primary, like, #1 requirement. So, and that's why, you know, when the tree board was established in 2006, that was because they were working toward Tree City USA certification.
And so we are now going on year 19 for that. So if you see.
Actually, we're going on 20. We completed 19 in 2024.
Okay.
And so this year will be 2020.
Gotcha.
We have not gotten confirmation, though, that we've been like recertified yet for 2024. The applications are always due at the end of the year, and you have to recertify every year. And so that application was submitted in December. We usually find out, I would say, in March, which always seems really late. Yeah, but that's how long it takes them, I guess, to review it. And then we also actually put in an application for a Tree City Growth Award, which just means you kind of went, like, we as a community went above and beyond doing some additional activities that we could get some, like, extra points for. There are different ways that you can apply for the Growth Award by doing kind of a different combination of projects. I did have them question one thing in that Growth Award application, just they wanted a little clarification on one of the projects that I submitted. It didn't seem like anything that was gonna, like, keep us from getting the Growth Award. But again, we usually find out about the Growth Award about the same time or like a week or two after we find out if we.
Are there privileges to having that designation, or is it just to have the name, or what?
It's mostly just, shows that we are doing our, what we can to improve the tree canopy in our city and maintain what we have. So it's kind of bragging rights. But it can help, it did help actually on grant applications. So it definitely got us a few more points when we applied for this grant to do the urban forestry management plan.
I know last time we talked to Harold, there was that deal about like the new changing of the ordinances.
So that is, and I know this is like next on the agenda, so I think it's appropriate that we're talking about this. So they're actually like what they call 4 standards to being a Tree City USA. The first one is that you have a tree board. You can also complete that requirement with, instead of a volunteer tree board, you could have a like an urban forestry department in your city instead, but we don't have that here. The second one is that you have to have a tree care ordinance. So they kind of changed this a little bit about 2 years ago. And it used to just say you needed a tree ordinance, and it was kind of loose. And so the tree ordinance was passed when the city established the tree board. And we have been kind of, they haven't done anything official, but the last 2 years they've said, you guys, your ordinance could use a little bit of beefing up, like it should be a little bit more specific. And what they really want is they want it to provide clear guidance about the planting, removal, and/or maintenance of public trees. And so that's what we are missing in ours. Ours basically just establishes the tree board and assigns the tree board responsibility for public trees and just gives some guidance about what the tree board does, but it's not that clear guidance about the planting, removal, and maintenance of public trees. So I don't know at what point they're gonna say, this is the time you guys have to beef it up or we're not gonna approve your application.
So what does that look like? I mean, we just draft something, or is there a public comment period, or,
How we would go about.
I think we should start it. I'll get with you, if you wanna, can you send me a copy of that?
Yeah, and I may be able to send you even something from them that's more specific, because more than just one sentence, that's like, this is kind of like a model ordinance.
Yeah, we
or
may as
something
well
like
start
that.
the ordinance process. There may be public input. Let me see what they want exactly and then
Okay.
see how difficult. If it's, maybe just Chris and I can get together and put it together.
I think
maybe-
it's probably just a little editing of the
Yeah.
current, or if that's a possibility to just like amend the current.
Yeah, we can always amend an ordinance and that shouldn't be a big deal, but we can talk about it.
Okay.
so this is like unrelated but related while on the removing. Someone sent me a message on Facebook like a week or so ago, and I had absolutely no idea what they were talking about. But they said that, I know the person, I guess she looked up tree board and saw my name on there, but she said that the city had marked trees in their subdivision to have removed, and she was asking for input on like new trees. I did not know the city did that, or if that was tree board, or if that was plant. I had no idea, so.
Does Conway Corp ever do that? Because my first thought is this city entity that might do that might be Conway Corp if the tree looked unstable and might hit lines or something like that.
They do some trimming when it gets within a certain distance of the lines. But as far as I know, we don't take out trees if it's like on someone else's property. And
Do y'all ever
It's
mark
close or
trees
anything.
that?
She specifically said it was marked for removal.
or to for removal though.
I can look it, but it said she said something about it marked for removal from the city, and I just dodged that part of the question
Sure,
and said
yeah.
these are great trees. Like,
If they're dead, and then in the right of way.
If it's in the right of way, they can remove
Then
them
they
if it's considered a hazard.
I would
Pictures of where
I would
it
have her
was.
reach out to Public Works and see if that's them.
Question, is it, if it's in the right of way, dead or alive, or just dead? And like a standing
Hazardous.
snag?
If it's
Depending on what
considered
the right of way is being
hazardous.
used for.
Okay,
Like if they need to take one down because there's a utility easement that runs there, then they'll take it down. if they
Yeah.
need to.
And a tree can be alive but in very poor condition, and
what do you mean? Oaks don't drop branches ever. Okay.
There are two other standards for the Tree City designation. The third one is that we as a community spend at least $2 per capita on tree care. We have no problems meeting that. When we fill out our application, I just contact the various city department heads and ask them some questions about, pruning, removing trees. That includes stuff like leaf cleanup and stick removal and stuff like that, just stuff that's dropped. So it's really easy to get up to $2 per capita. And it includes planting as well, so. And then the fourth one is that we have to have an Arbor Day observation, and so that's what we do, and it's already scheduled for the
Yeah, that's what we do in
first
November.
Saturday of November, which I think is November 1st this year. If I remember.
I was gonna say.
So once again, with the tree board, like I said, we're promoting our trees and stuff through awareness, education, and engagement. So the education aspect, that is definitely where Krista shines, as you've all can kind of tell that. And not just with like just regular citizens. I mean, last year she got with the Parks Department and went over pruning and some tree maintenance guidelines and kind of showed them how to do that. So it's not just citizens that we're trying to help out, we're also just an asset to the city in general, and so that's helping out departments within the city. And then engagement, that's where, we'll get to that a little bit later about our planning for this year. That's where our engagement comes in, of just talking with the community. Next month, we'll have our big tree giveaway for the springtime, and that'll be a great way to get trees in people's hands and get them planted. So that's a little bit more about what we do. It's not always just us sitting in here doing kind of nothing, twiddling our thumbs. There will be some times where we do that, but then there'll be a lot of times where it'll creep up on you where we have a lot of stuff that we have to get going.
Well, and unfortunately, it's not evenly spread out. There's like a lot of activity in the spring and a lot of activity in the fall.
Yes. So you guys are already coming in where the spring tree giveaway for the most part has been pretty much set up. Krista, do we have any update on all of our trees for that?
Just that we ordered 900 trees. I don't even remember. It's a pretty diverse species list that we'll have. And then sometimes we get some donated also. They'll arrive in early March, and we'll have to keep them in cold storage until we give them away. Are we gonna just go in, do we wanna talk about that now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, it's kind of odd because we didn't do fruit tree, but Sam, I know last year you made a nice, like we called it a menu.
Yeah, I can do that.
Are you
again. That's
interested in
easy.
doing that again? Okay. Yeah. But we talked about doing the giveaway this year on March 22nd. And I did ask the director of the Faulkner County Museum if we could use the log cabin again, and she said yes for that day.
It's not so convenient.
And we will have our open house at the extension office that same day, which is nice because there are bathrooms.
Nice.
Yeah. But that would be, we usually do it in the morning. I wanna say, is it 10 to noon that we've done
We have it listed for 9 to 12.
it? 9 to 12, okay.
10 to noon sounds better. 10 to noon sounds like I get to sleep in more. Personally.
Well, even if we start at 10, you will need to be there before 10.
Right, and so if we start earlier, I need to be there even early, right? Like
I mean,
cascading effect.
we do usually run out of trees.
Pretty quick. Yeah.
Did we run out last year before noon?
Of certain ones, for sure. I mean, it's hard to run out of pines whenever.
When you have 2,000 of them.
Yes. So
Yeah,
like
that's
that
accurate.
part, no. But like the
The
mulberries,
nicer ones.
mulberries and stuff,
yeah.
those were gone immediately.
Yeah. So I mean, that's up to you guys if you'd prefer to do 10 to noon instead of 9.
Who donated trees last time?
I don't know if I should say.
Oh, okay. Can you tell me the quantity?
It was thousands of trees were donated.
Were they all pine?
There were a lot of pine. There were ones that are left over from like forest, like reforestation. And these are bare root seedling trees. So they're small. They're in big bundles and they're not in soil.
We have 600 this year, by the way.
600. Okay.
Do you wanna know the species?
And that's from two different vendors? 'Cause why do I have
no,
900 in my
I think
head?
you might be right. I'm just digging through old emails. On this one, it's deciduous holly, serviceberry, roughleaf dogwood, wild plum, red mulberry, and redbud.
So we were looking for smaller ones
Cool.
because everybody
Beautiful.
always wants
That's me,
small
Ryan.
trees and we always have lots of big trees. But we do have some oaks too on the other.
Who is that from?
That's from Missouri Department of Conservation.
Oh, nice. And then the other one.
The other ones are Bauckham, the state nursery for Arkansas.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, I'll do a menu. Are we?
I'll send you the list.
Please and thank you. So I know fall tree giveaway. So we do tree giveaways every single year. We try to do small bare root trees in spring, and then larger potted trees in fall. And so we give a lot more trees away in the spring than we do in the fall, but they're bigger anyways. And in the fall, we did reservations, which I really liked because it kind of made it equitable from a standpoint of it wasn't just whether or not you could be there at the very beginning and stand through line, but it allowed people to reserve. Have we ever done that in the spring? And what are your thoughts on, is that reasonable given the much higher volume?
You're just gonna have
It'd be a lot to
so many more
manage.
trees, dude.
Like, that'd be a lot of well, and it's so many trees to give away too. I just worry that we wouldn't, because the first year we did the fall tree giveaway, we've only done it 2 years. We actually didn't give them all away.
Okay.
People, even though fall is the best time to plant a tree, it's not top of mind in the fall.
Yeah.
Whereas in the spring and March, people are like, oh, planting.
Trees. Okay.
I mean, 2 days in a row, 70 degrees, I'm already ready to start tilling.
Yeah, yeah. But, we've talked, I think Ryan brought it up last year, would it be better to, and this year we're already kind of got the plan for the spring tree giveaway, but maybe next year we do fewer of the bare root trees and more of the potted trees in the fall. Because we do know that the bare root trees have a high mortality rate,
Yeah.
but they're cheap.
Yeah. So probably not reservations this year.
Unless we just had a super small batch of like a very specific tree that we knew was gonna go quick, I probably would stay away from them.
Part of the reason we did reservations for the fall trees, it serves two purposes really, but the main one is just we only had 100 trees and we thought we could easily end up with 200 people in line. And
Yeah, no, yeah.
so that was the number one reason. But the other reason that reservations are nice is it makes people just think a little bit about it. Like they don't just grab a tree that they haven't thought about, where's this gonna go? Does this fit in my yard? That kind of thing.
One downside of the reservation process, I'm not against reservations at all, but one downside is that once the reservations are closed, you lose the opportunity for public engagement because anyone who doesn't have a reservation, they just, well, I missed it, and they move on.
Yes and no. So what we've done, specifically this most recent fall tree giveaway, is we did reservations for all of the trees. And in the reservations, it is, you are reserving, it was 1 or 2 per household, but only 1 per species. And you are agreeing to pick up the tree between this time and this time on this date, and that if you do not pick up your tree at the end of that time window, you are relinquishing ownership of the tree. And so what we were able to do, and was really effective this fall, this most recent fall giveaway, was we'd have a ton of members of public come up, because we did it during our Arbor Day festival. In which we have a ton of public, interest and engagement,
So
and
engagement's already there.
a lot of people kept coming up and being like, oh, we had no idea that you were doing a free tree giveaway, darn, we're upset we missed it. And we'd be like, well, sign up for the email for when we do it in the spring, but also, if you have the time and are able to, swing back
We'll be auctioning
by
off these trees at such and such a time. No, we didn't actually do that.
2:01, after it closes, 2:01, and so then you can, whatever is left, first come, first serve, still 2 per household, you can still potentially get a tree by the end
Which
of
we
the
had
day.
no trouble getting rid of all the trees last year.
Which we had a lot at the tail end from people who didn't come to pick them up, and we received, I think it was like 10 or 20 extra trees.
So, yeah.
And so we were able to still either have them sign up for spring or get it at the end of the event anyways, which also allowed them a couple hours to kind of think about it and decide where would a tree work. Let's not hit our water lines. Let's think about this a
Put the thoughts in
little.
their mind, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
811.
But yeah, no, remembering the stress of doing the reservation for 100 trees, I don't want to do it for 900 personally.
That's the,
no,
like,
thank
just
you.
pulling them is hard. You'd have to find people's names, and I mean, remember that line snaking around?
You're only talking me out of it.
But last time we did spring tree giveaway, we had a line wrapping around the block of the Faulkner County Museum for people doing free tree giveaway, and so do we have money in the budget for printing? Or in the M&O?
Yeah.
Cool, cause like in the past, what we have done is, so I will make a menu of all the tree species, and it will be a picture of the tree itself, often a picture of the leaf, and then if it produces persimmons or pecans or whatever, it'll also have a picture of that. It will say the maximum height of the tree, the maximum width of the tree. Is this a shade tolerant tree? Is this something that needs to be in full sun? Like those kind of pertinent details. Is it really pretty in the fall? Does it drop its leaves? Those kind of things. And so I'll make that so that the city or the residents who are receiving the trees have better information to hopefully know better locations to plant them so that they do better. And
And when they're waiting in line, they get to look at the menu.
and so we make it
just
into
like-
like a a menu of sorts, and then we pass it through the line.
And then when
so
you get
that-
up to the front, you're like, I want 2 of those.
While you're waiting, here's the learning.
Yes.
Yes, and we have that too.
And we print out a ton of how to plant seedlings, which we'll need.
I made a
that.
video last year. There's a video now.
Oh my goodness, we're getting so fancy.
So we could have the QR code to the video.
And so we had menus for people to continue to pass down the line, and then they could keep the paperwork on how to plant. And so absolutely, I can make the menu, and then if we could
I
pay for
think
the
we can figure out the
printing, because I don't have a color printer.
Maybe.
That gets expensive if it's like 50 copies. So.
But if you guys can help with that tree giveaway on that date, it would be super great. And if you have friends or family who would like to help, like it's a pretty big deal.
Yes, there's a lot of
And
trees.
I'll be at the extension office, unfortunately, so I cannot help. But I mean, I can help a little, but I can help with like problem solving.
So that'll be one of the days where we need actual people there on site. And then leading up to that, so we'll get you guys all, if you haven't, you guys will all get access to the Conway Trees Instagram and Facebook, as well as invites to Canva, which is what we use to do any of the kind of promotion stuff. So that is something that, like, if that's what you're really good at and you want to help make a flyer for the spring tree giveaway, you absolutely can do that. I've done it a couple years. Sam has done it now a couple years. I know Krista and Teresa used to handle a lot of the Facebook stuff as well. So we'll get you on there. If you ever get questions on social media that you don't feel comfortable answering, you can always just have it redirected to somebody else or find the information out and then reply however you want to kind of go about that.
Well, I would just keep in mind when you're acting as the page or whatever that, remember it's the tree board's voice, not your own.
Yes.
So.
And that you are part of the city of Conway. So don't go out there posting nothing crazy that'll get us in trouble with the city. Because once again, we are here to be an asset to the city, not be the problem child to the mayor's office.
But yeah, if you've got skills, because we don't know like if you enjoy marketing or you enjoy making like flyers and stuff like that.
I wouldn't say I enjoy it.
Or feel like you have the skills.
Yeah, so is there like discussion about like when that's needed? I mean, is there specifically the tree giveaway or ongoing post or Arbor Day?
It's ongoing, really.
We need to have something that's set up for sure by our next meeting in March and need to start posting then, cause I mean, that'll give us at least.
So I mean, I kind of think like last year's Skylar kind of was our marketing, like, kind of head person. But he has some, with being the chair, he's got some additional duties now. So if there was somebody else who kind of wanted to head up marketing, I think we could use that. Because before you, then it was like Natalie Arnold had done a lot of that. But there will be several activities through the year, and definitely with the Arbor Day, there's a lot.
And we're just making flyers after flyers. And I mean, that is just how crazy you wanna get with them is completely up to you.
Because our Arbor Day kind of has several different aspects to it. We have been doing a photography contest as part of it. We've got, posts that we make on, thanking sponsors. We've got posts with different exhibitors. So a lot of different ways that we market.
Yeah, I use Canva and do the newsletter for PTO at Ida Burns, so I'm happy to do that. I just don't want I hate newsletters a lot. So I don't want to do I don't want to sign up for a monthly newsletter type of situation, but I'm totally comfortable with graphics and signage or whatever like that.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, but I refuse. I will not be doing another newsletter. So
We've never pitched the idea of doing a newsletter. It doesn't sound like we're gonna
I was up
start.
until
Well, we actually
4:30
do.
there.
I send a few newsletters
I did not know
for
It's
Tree
just
Board.
so much
no
work.
idea.
It's a graphic, great, but a newsletter is overwhelming.
What I usually do is, so we have a constant contact account, and I just basically to be a flyer, and I just send that, and I call it a newsletter.
That's about as much as I do.
Yeah.
I'll find
No,
a nice
it'll be like
picture.
your flyer that you made, and I send it in.
That's
email
perfect,
form.
perfect.
That's all I do.
Even
Yeah,
They're all
better.
cutesy
Just
for
change
the
the
elementary
dates.
school. It's fine. It's a lot.
You're welcome to look at the Facebook page of what we've done in the past, and I mean, that'll be a good low bar of where the stand is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna be a low bar.
No,
I can do it. I'm just not gonna do.
There's some times with
all the
Canva
time.
where you're sitting there and you're like, I'm gonna make this look really good, and then you realize it's been 2 hours and you're like, I don't care what it looks like. Here we go, it's done. It's
Which
done.
we also have a Google Drive that we'll need to make sure everybody has access to.
Did everyone get access to that?
Yeah.
Nice.
And that gave you access to the whole drive, correct? And not just the.
I only reviewed the one thing that was, that we were looking
Okay.
for. I'll have to
What
see
is it?
another
Yeah,
one.
there were several folders in there.
Okay,
so-
good.
Cool.
I sent that out last week or 2 weeks ago whenever I sent out the agenda. But that's where everything is.
Beautiful.
They have kept that thing pristine, so I'm gonna try to make
That
sure
was
we don't.
Tracy. Yeah.
And so
She
a
was
lot
the
of
I'm not a
Drive
Google
master.
user, so I'm
lot of our-
lost in there.
a lot of our historic flyers and ads and things that we've done in the past are in there. A lot of because we'll have a lot of different people sponsor different events, and so we have their old icons and things of that sort, and so it's certainly not starting from ground zero. And then having everybody have Canva will be phenomenal, because then if we have an existent folder of pre-made flyers and things, we can just change the date
Yeah.
and hit send.
Yeah.
Ryan, who can have email access, and how does that happen?
Well, it's just that tree board group. When somebody sends something to tree
I
board,
think
it
it's
comes to all of
just
us, I thought.
Me, and it's not
I know.
everybody.
Oh, it's not
It's me, you, it'll be Skylar and Lauren in my office gets
Okay,
it. And then we send it out.
if needed, or, unless we
Yeah, 'cause it's
direct
a lot of
somewhere.
it's just junk.
And then we'll get with Bobby to get them all set up with social.
Yes.
And then
That's a good
I suggest at the end of the meeting, once the meeting has concluded and we are no longer videotaping, we exchange cell phones. And so if you are the person on seeing a Facebook message and you're not sure of the most accurate answer or response, you can email any of us on the board and be like, hey, are you aware? That being said, all communication for tree board, it does fall under FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, which is why all of our meetings, all of our discussions, and all communication and conversations pertinent to tree board business has to be in a publicly visible and tangible mode. And so that's why all of our meetings are here and videotaped. And so
That's why y'all see Ryan CC'd on every single thing.
literally emerging, yes.
So Ryan is kind of our fail-safe, so if you ever need to send someone in the board an email that is
CC him.
tree-related,
CC him.
include Ryan in it, and then we should be okay.
Yep. And so asking us like, hey, how do I answer this question? Totally fine. Being like, hey, let's discuss agenda item 3 for next month. Nope, it's gonna wait till next month during the meeting.
Well, and we can communicate like, so say we're doing an event and you have a question like, hey, is somebody bringing bottled water? Like, that kind of stuff's okay to
Yeah.
talk about outside of the meeting.
But not like decision making.
Yeah.
Like, we are going to bring water. Nope, we already decided that in the meeting, and then it's just like kind of the logistics details.
So the logistics of like an event, like, is fine.
So like I said, between now and our next meeting, we'll get you guys access to that, and then we can feel free to start working on any kind of promotional items that we wanna do for the spring tree giveaway. With that being said though, if you mentioned, so right now it's set up from 9 to 12. So realistically, would y'all rather switch it to 10 a.m. to noon? Is that a time that you guys think that you are more readily available?
I would much rather 10 a.m.
Now just
I
know
will
that
be
means you
there
still probably need to be there at
an hour
9.
earlier
But we just
minimum.
won't, so if that works better for everybody, then we will take a vote to change that officially to a 10 to noon start time for the public, with the understanding that we are probably gonna be there from 9 to 12:30-ish, 1 o'clock-ish, depending on how long it takes us to clean up.
We said 9 to 12, are we switching it to 10 to 12 or 10 to 1?
So we would just go from 10 to 12. Is that what everyone is that correct? That sounded better to everybody?
I was being kind of snarky and sarcastic. I can absolutely be there at 9 if I'm needed there. I will
The
just
setup doesn't take that long, I will say that.
Did you make then? We can be there wherever, at any time between 9:30 or something. It doesn't have to be a hard pressed 9, but do we
There will
want to
be
go
people
to?
lining up at 9:30, though, just so you know, planning it to get
Is this a
trees.
motion to change it 10 to 12? Let's make a motion to change it 10 to 12. Second?
seconded. All opposed?
All in favor. Nobody's gonna oppose it. All in favor?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
I will say, I do need to check, we have some tree board supplies stored at my office. And I need to check to see how many like plastic bags we still have for the tree giveaway
Okay.
and stuff like that, and we may need to purchase a few things like that. It's
And
cheap.
paper towels.
And paper towels, yeah, it's cheap.
we'll probably discuss our budget and stuff next meeting. Me and Ryan are still working with Conway Corp to get everything. Conway Corp is one of our big sponsors, and they donate a couple. What is it? 2,500.
5,000.
I don't know why I was saying 25. So they donate 5,000 to us every year, and that's a big part of our actual operating budget. So we're still working on getting all of that taken care of, and so for our next meeting, we'll go over more of what the finances look like for what we have. Because anything like, so her mentioning we need to buy bags, all of that stuff is a
Printing.
vote thing.
Yeah.
That's not like any of us can just be like, hey, I need to buy this for the tree board. Speaking of purchases, whenever we get closer, I'll remind you guys, but do not ever just like take your own debit card out and buy something for the tree board. That's not how that works. We
Won't
buy
get
it.
reimbursed.
So everything
It will
will be
be a
purchased like
donation.
through the city. I mean, I guess you could do that, but I
Don't.
would not do that.
Just don't.
So we will all make our purchases through the city. That is not even something that I do. Me and Ryan actually got in trouble the last time we bought stuff. We cannot buy gift cards. We learned that.
Cool.
So for the photo contest this past Arbor Day, we gave out the winner is like was it $100?
50 or 100.
Something like that. It's like $50 or $100 Target gift cards. Well, we bought them, and then we were told, hey, you can't buy gift cards. So we learned that now. So we
I
can
hope
buy
it
other
didn't
kind of
end up
prizes, but we
being-
cannot buy gift cards.
I hope it didn't end up being y'all were donating those then. I hope you were able to be reimbursed.
No, we did not.
They took it out of our checks.
Yeah. We didn't get fired.
I was gonna say, that's
It got
impressive.
slapped on the hand and said, if you do it
It's
again,
Monday.
it'll
It
come
takes
out of
me
your
a minute
check.
to
We
process.
were told don't buy gift cards, so that's good to know.
Our next meeting is gonna be March 3rd.
Yes.
And the event's March 22nd. So is 3-ish weeks gonna be enough turnaround to hear about our budget, realize that we need to buy bags, talk to the city about buying bags, order the bags, and receive the bags? Is
That should
3
be fine, yeah,
weeks?
'cause it's not like we
We
have
just
$0
order them
in
from
the right
Amazon and we get
Yeah,
like
it
next day
takes-
now.
delivery.
Yeah, city does
I don't-
have a business Prime account, so we're good there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know who all approves and how the purchasing happens and therefore how long.
I think once we approve a budget,
Yeah, we just send
you
it,
actually, I don't vote, but
me and Ryan just sent it to somebody and they're like, hey, cool. And then it's there.
Beautiful, cool.
But yeah, so like I said, feel free to work on any kind of marketing that we can go ahead and start doing. Once again, the official day and time for that will be March 22nd, 10 a.m. to noon.
I'll go ahead and I'll make the menu again, and so that will be covered. But if y'all want to make and be working on just general advertisements about the event overarchingly, nice.
sometimes we do like a Facebook event,
Yeah.
and then do some posts, and we could actually even, like, if maybe I just email everybody the list of the species that we have. But I could see us doing, individual posts about the different species and where they perform best, or and that sort of thing. Or if you finish your menu first, then we'd have all of that kind of in there, and
Make the menu soon. Got it.
you
Not
need the
like
list of trees.
the day before, like I've done every other event.
Okay, and then real quick to jump back to something we kind of skipped over. Krista, do you have any updates on our fruit tree?
Yeah, and it is, so we've ordered this, and this is related to another grant that we have. It's a smaller, just like a $2,000 grant from
Still so much money.
Arkansas Interfaith Power and Light. And the goal of the project is to plant fruit trees in public areas that can help feed people who are hungry. And so in the original grant, we said we would plant these at the McGee Center. We already have some trees that the tree board has planted over there. We're kind of like reforesting a part of that field that's there, kind of in front of the McGee Center. And it's kind of close to the community garden. And so that's the area where we're talking about putting the fruit trees also, but there's this kind of difficult part that the community garden is individual people's plots, and so it is not just like hungry people aren't supposed to just go in there and pick anything. Like, that food belongs to the gardeners who planted it, but these trees will be for anybody who wants to harvest from them. So we're talking about having some signage and things to distinguish, like, this is the community garden and this is the community forest, our food forest, basically. Anyway, I did order 30 trees from Bemis. They're like some European pears, some Asian pears, mulberries, persimmons, figs, some different varieties, but all things that should do okay here with minimal care. The problem with fruit trees is always, like, apples and peaches are really, really hard to grow without a lot of management. So I was trying to choose things that were a little bit lower maintenance. Bemis is supposed to tell me when they think those will be available, and they have not done that, but they'll need to be planted as soon as possible. So I've actually kind of been holding, and this again could be a volunteer project where we get volunteers to help, but I've kind of been holding Saturday, March 8th in my calendar. I don't know if that's gonna work out because it all depends on when the trees come in. Bemis did say they could deliver them, yay.
Which we have Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Yeah, there's a sorority.
Couldn't tell.
There is a wonderful sorority group of ladies who helped volunteer at the fall tree giveaway that have been actively emailing us saying,
I think that's the one,
"Hey."
isn't it?
I'm sorry?
Isn't that the one you're talking about, the ones that helped before?
Yes, I don't remember the name of their
Okay, that's,
sorority.
yeah.
But they've been actively emailing us being like, we wanna help, we wanna help, we wanna help, which is phenomenal, cause planting trees can be a lot of work, especially.
Yeah, so
if it's
30
long.
trees, like, it's work to plant trees. So it would be good to have some help for that. And the other thing is, since we had planted some seedlings at McGee too, and it's time that we do a little bit of structural pruning on those trees, so we could do that at the same time, especially if we get enough volunteers and have enough tools and
Which UCA does the
big
big event.
just too late to get volunteers from the big event, but it is that day.
Ooh. Okay.
It is that day. And so that's the other thing is like a lot of the UCA students will already be doing other things that day. And we could, if the trees come in earlier, we could do it on the 1st,
When was the cutoff for that one?
last day of January. The Friday.
Of course it was.
But I didn't, so that, I mean, we were asked about doing it, but I didn't know for sure that we had the trees.
I remember the email. I'm like, oh, that was a great idea.
Yeah.
Didn't read enough of the email to realize that I needed to.
You know, if we get 10 people helping, they each plant
Yeah.
3 trees.
That's not terrible.
What's our level of involvement gonna be with the revamping that Sean's doing behind the Faulkner County Library?
I don't think I know what you're referencing.
Everything behind the community garden at the Faulkner County Library, there's a large field there that used to have a pond in it, and it had a whole bunch of brush last year. They've cleaned most of that out. He's working with someone to get the fescue grass removed, and he wants to have a grove back there. He had mentioned to me that he was working with someone in the tree board.
So it's us,
Reach out to me and Ryan for sure.
yeah, we said we could provide some of these trees, cause really, Parks doesn't really want all 30 trees at McGee, so we may give some, and we've been approved, the grant, they've said yes, put some at the library also. Sean was also interested in having blackberries, and so we may use some of the funds to buy blackberries for the library. Cause those are fairly, they take a little more maintenance, but he's there, and so that's what's nice at the library is that they have somebody to maintain them a little bit.
Cool. Brian, is there anything that we need to do city-wise whenever we go to actually plant these trees? Any clearance or anything like that from, that'd be at the McGee?
No, I don't think so.
Brian's given us the.
Yeah, we've gotten the approval already, so I think we should be.
I'll see if I can talk him in.
Brian said no more than 30 trees.
Who is Brian?
He's the
Ryan McLean is the
superintendent. Is that
superintendent for the
correct?
parks.
What's that last name?
McLean. I'll see if I can talk him into seeing if some guys wanna come out there on Saturday and help us out.
See how many people
That
have
would be
been
nice.
voluntold to show up.
They'll get paid, but I mean, yeah, maybe.
That would be great.
And
I'll
you said
ask.
superintendent of parks?
Yes.
Cool.
Honestly, it's good experience for them too, because I mean, I'll give some instructions. And I'm sure you can probably get. I mean, probably all of us have planted trees, right?
Okay, then the last little bit of our meeting, we're at 5:23, so we're definitely much longer than we were last meeting. This is probably more of a normal pace.
Yeah,
of
normally
what
we'd
meetings
get
will
out of
be.
here at like 5:30 to 6.
But the last meeting that we had, I asked you guys to think of some ideas as far as some kind of events. So
Are we doing
like,
yoga this year?
so what,
Are we doing yoga this year?
that's what we're talking
Yeah, we haven't
Cool.
committed to
about. So I
it.
mean, that's something to where if we think we wanna still do yoga, we can do that.
It feels like attendance was kind of light for yoga last year. Of course, we also had to.
Weather.
Yeah, we also had to cancel a couple of them for rain.
When do we need to have this decision made? Because I've been brainstorming this for a while, and the ideas have been few and far between.
Fair.
So-
Appreciate your honesty.
Originally, we tried to do kind of like quarterly activities to kind of, so the fact that we're doing like this fruit tree planting and the spring giveaway both in March is kind of
Not a
like
lot.
more than what we really want to be doing, but we got this grant and that's why we have that. So the yoga was usually like in May, well, actually it started out being an Earth Day activity. And it was really popular, doing it just like one time as an Earth Day activity. And then I think we did a second year and it was also popular, and then we decided to do like 4 of them. And that's when it felt like attendance dropped off a little bit,
It also coincided with weather being really bad.
and the weather.
And so it's kind of hard to say if it
And when we did the
was-
4, we moved it around to different parks too, which was kind of fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
So that is,
Is there a park in town that has, which park in town has the most variety of trees? In case we wanted to do some sort of educational tree walk supplement to whatever we were having take place.
Most variety of trees.
Maybe Cadron.
Maybe Cadron.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, that's a good one, but that's all the way out there, I don't know.
It is a city
exactly
park,
when the
the-
participation.
We've done yoga out there and it's a great place to do yoga actually. We've also done a first day hike at Cadron Settlement because they have a hiking
Yeah, I
trail.
saw that trail.
I like that idea. Kind of an educational hike.
Yes. So-
Yeah, but maybe not on January 1st because it
No.
means that somebody has to work and be in town.
So, I mean, that could be something that we try to organize and do instead of doing a yoga, or we do
Yeah,
that
just a
with
guided
just
hike.
one yoga or something. These are all ideas you can do.
I think personally, if we do yoga, I think the one at Arbor Day was
Is what
pretty
we
well
would do.
attended, and completely phase it out.
Just add that to
tree tree adjacent, like we're not planting trees obviously, but like what is, like you think of an event with trees, like is that, yoga is
so we would do
using the
young,
park, but like.
so yeah, it was yoga under the trees, and so it was seeing different City of Conway parks. It was trying to increase the public's knowledge of the different park areas that we had and showcasing different trees at different parks, while also just appreciating the green spaces that we do have, and getting out in nature and doing yoga. But we've done tree walks as well. And we, the yoga that we do.
We actually tried to do a tree identification walk at, just on Tucker Creek once, and we had one person attend.
I was
That
the
was
one
you.
person.
You were the
I
one
was the one
person.
Yeah, that was
Was it
before
like
I
a
was.
scavenger hunt, or what were y'all doing?
No, it was me and Krista and another.
Was it Harold Fisher
yeah,
with,
yeah, and
forestry?
The kids, you can always make a flyer that's got the different leaves on it and say, find
Find a
these."
red leaf or a heart-shaped
That
leaf.
could add a little bit of engagement for the families, you
Yeah.
know, if you give the kids something to do, then you can keep.
Well, we
doing
may
those.
have done that one like on a Tuesday morning or
It was
something.
phenomenal, and so we
because you got one on. You got.
It was so great. So we just like walked the trail, and it was like, this is this tree, and this is this tree, and this is this tree, and it was amazing. I loved it,
So I will say, David Sutherland,
which is why I'm
retired from
3
Hendrix,
years
does
later.
an amazing tree identification walk on Hendrix campus.
Yeah, they've got like a living arboretum.
Yeah, and
Collection.
David does a great job.
Well, that sounds great.
I mean, that's always something
So-
we try to
It's also
coordinate
in
with
town,
him,
too.
so.
Yeah.
I think he'd be happy to do it. Just
So-
pick a day that.
I don't know anything at all about like birders, but I know that the Audubon Society or something does a native plant sale, and it was absolutely massive in Little Rock. So I don't know if there's some way to involve like the
Birding.
birding people, because I
Birds
don't
and
know
trees.
anything about it to lead anything
Birding's a
like
big
that,
deal.
but I know that their plant sale. I got several of their trees, and I mean it was a huge operation. So I mean it was in Little Rock, but it shows that there was a lot of really involved people. But I don't know what that looks like for planning that, or
I mean,
I don't know if
Arkansas
that's an independent thing that one does, or I don't know.
Audubon organization helped pay for my master's. They funded. I got a grant from them. It's great. Yeah, they care about trees for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, there were heavily subsidized plants too, and
Yeah.
there was, so, just idea.
No,
I mean,
good.
Audubon would be a good partner.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one that we can reach out to.
Yeah.
Just figure out. I don't know what all kind of birding events they have, or if Conway's even a solid spot for that. But
It is.
Conway's a good spot for it.
Yeah.
And they have like a chapter or something that.
I low-key am scared of birds, so
I-
my least favorite part of going to the zoo is the area where the birds just roam free. In and out, bro.
That's
In and out.
everybody else's.
In and out, they hate it.
I
Hate it,
wanted
hate
to
it.
build one of those in my house for so long.
There's a,
Not coming over.
there's a somewhat
Pass.
regular plant sale in Little Rock, and they have it at the Audubon Society there. So I don't know the contact, but I do know the plant person.
It's Uda, isn't it?
It's what?
Uda? Uda Meyer?
At the Audubon?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I know the plant organizer, not the Audubon organizer. So the plant organizer reaches out to whoever the contact is there. But
Yeah, I mean, you can contact them and see if there's a way that they would want to partner.
Yeah, we wouldn't do anything with the art walk.
I liked it when we did it. It was just me.
You
It was a
did or
lot of
did
work.
not?
I did like it. It probably was a lot of work. I didn't do any of that. I just went.
You're like, this is really nice.
I just went and hung out for like an hour or two.
Remind me what we've done in the past, because I also did zero of the work that went into that
I didn't do anything with our work.
Cool.
So I think it was me and Tracy, and mostly Tracy. And
Previous
Shane
chair.
was still here? Or is
Yes,
that, or is
and
that
then
Amy
Amy.
did help, and Amy maybe helped a little
Yeah.
bit too.
Is this where they did like the tree thing?
They made this like mural of a tree kind of on wood, and then the kids could like make a leaf, like decorate a leaf where you could do your handprint and cut it out, and then you were supposed to like write like what you like about trees and then put it up on the board.
I
So
don't
this
think,
would be a question if we have anyone who's super crafty in the room. Because this is where-
And willing to put in time. I'm asking Tracy if she still has the big wood tree mural thingy.
No, we donated it.
Ah,
So it was in my storage, and I had asked her because it was very much in the way.
yeah. It sounds huge, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where like some of the ideas, and we can continue to like brainstorm these, especially since we have two kind of bigger projects already set up. for
Yeah,
the
we're
spring
good
season.
for this spring.
Yeah, we're not like jonesing to do more work. But so that we can continue this for our next meeting as well. So like I said, stuff that you're interested in, or like I said, if you're crafty or something, you know, this is where you can kind of have more input to put your own spin on how you want to get trees and stuff like that out there. The other thing I want to bring up as an idea, which once we know finances more, that might be a better option. But what are your thoughts on doing like a bounty? So everyone hates the Bradford pears.
Yeah, because they're absolutely
So,
terrible.
I know that some other cities will do this to where we would obviously have to come up with a better, like an actual limit and like a budget for this. But if a citizen cuts down a Bradford pear in their at their house, either one of us will go out there and like verify that they cut it down or whatever, and then the tree board would provide a tree for them to replace the Bradford pear.
Which Fayetteville does that, and so we could look at how they have it set up, as far as what they use to verify, because I think they were just using photographs to verify.
That'd be cool. I don't care if you send a text into the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to make this thing like crazy.
So I have to
hard.
admit that if we're gonna do that, I kind of feel like maybe the city should remove some Bradford pears on public property too.
Just saying, just throwing this out there. I love
Like,
it.
should we, like, it's one thing to
No,
encourage others.
we
but-
aren't removing them for them. So
Correct, yes.
you're gonna have to like remove it yourself, but we will give you the next tree
If they
and-
posted on the Facebook page for the tree board, that would also increase awareness.
And we are trusting that citizens are only removing trees on their own property, and we take zero liability if Bradford pears are removed from anywhere besides their own properties.
I am
Don't
sure
go to
For the
Lowe's and
record.
cut down all
For the
trees.
So my immediate concern with that would be, we can't keep and maintain trees year round to be like distributed.
Fayetteville
and
does it
so-
for like a short period in the spring, like around the time the trees are blooming.
Okay, I was gonna
Because that's when people most notice them, when the Bradfords are blooming.
Cause I was gonna suggest like take a picture of like the Bradford tree on your property like as it exists and then
With it
chop
chopped
down,
off.
right?
I think that's what
And
Fayetteville
that
does.
would guarantee that household a free tree
For the
at
fall?
the next free tree giveaway
That's
or
a
at
good
the fall.
idea.
And so then we like, yes, it would obligate us to keep that record. Nose goes
And
not
kind of
it,
contact
but
them again.
that could be how we fulfill that.
At this rate, the
boundary.
trees are gonna be blooming like any minute.
70-degree weather.
Yeah.
Then I'll reach out to Fayetteville. Is that just through their Parks Department, I'm assuming?
They have an urban forestry department, they've got an urban forester.
If you Google it, it'll take you to their little media release for it.
Is it just like, I think
Mine's
the trees,
already
I think the
pulled up.
trees are only
You can't
available for like a
yeah.
couple of months. I think there's a,
Yeah, they put a limit, tree limit, so 50 native trees, 25 native shrubs with their limit in 2020.
Per person or like for the city?
For the whole city.
I was gonna be like, man, they have the big box.
I think coming up with like 20 trees seems like, we gave away more than 20 trees that didn't get picked up at our fall deal, so I think that'll be plenty.
Well, we could even do it for spring tree giveaway. Like it wouldn't necessarily have to be, obviously fall trees are bigger
Those-
and nicer.
those
and-
people wouldn't have to stand in line, they could just like tell us what they want and come get them on a different day.
Yeah, we could set it up, obviously, well, probably not for this upcoming spring tree giveaway, but
This is all kind
potentially
of quick.
for the future, if you kill a Bradford pear and show us the body. Sounds terrible.
Hey man, that's the kind of marketing stuff that would get people to look at it.
Oh, yeah.
If you're just like, show me the body, and it's just like, what are you talking
HR.
about? Now, we might get some weird results from a hashtag that says, show me the body. But,
Yes.
but
Okay.
it could be fun.
Moving on.
Instead of proof of life, we need proof of death.
Yeah, then show me the body.
Listen, we can even do.
Fabulous.
When they're blooming, you get a certificate. And then you get a certificate for one of the ones that are in a pot that we're giving away in the
Yeah.
fall.
Yeah.
Since it's a better
I think
tree,
it could-
it's a better planting time, and it has a higher, chance of making it.
We'll run that one by Felicia and make sure we're good with show me the body.
I'll be surprised if it
Let's
gets
just
permitted.
Google that and see what comes
No.
up.
Somebody post it real quick on your own Facebook, and
Nope.
click it and see what pulls up. And
Good.
I guarantee you Garth Brooks will show up in that search. For those who know, know.
I
There's
don't want to
comedian,
know.
there's a comedian named Tom Segura.
Yeah,
He
no, enough
has this
said.
inside joke that he thinks that Garth kills people. So that's so
Okay, fair enough.
that it'll show up. But
in-
if we're just seeing Garth Brooks, I think we're okay.
Cool. In the future, for spring tree giveaway, we could say, show me the body. If you kill a Bradford, you get to reserve a species, which you
Bradford pear
don't
tree.
otherwise.
Make sure we say the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that say Bradford. Don't
That's a
kill a
person.
Bradford.
Tree, species only, on your personal property that you own. Not just rent, just you own. Show me the body of the Bradford pear tree on your personal owned property. You could reserve the species, which you otherwise don't get to do at spring tree giveaway, and you can come like the day before or something and skip the line and not have to deal with the hubbub.
It's a skip the line pass, just like.
Show me the body and you skip, it's a fast pass. We fast pass if you show me the body of a Bradford pear tree that you have killed on your personal property that you own.
Yeah, removed.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's something that we think would actually be pretty good, and I mean, I know that everyone hates those, and I mean, I don't know.
Not everyone hates them.
They are really detrimental to the environment. They are a non-native, and they are also very weak for the weather that we have, and they have a tendency of breaking and damaging property, and then also looking, I think, hideous as they drop branches and break, and they're a weak tree.
Prone to rust blight as well.
Yep.
Okay, so you're gonna do the little video about why you should remove it.
Unless you want a lot of cursing, you probably don't want me doing a video.
I think we can get a video of somebody with an axe.
We could easily just hit the little buzzer thing.
Yes.
It's just a lot of bleeping. Like I said, we'll run this up the chain. We'll let the mayor's office just hash out what they don't want us to do.
Right.
And
Just like schedule the appointment for me with HR from the
There we go.
jump, you know?
at least we'll enjoy that.
But different options for public engagement and events throughout the year would be bounty on Bradford pear trees on your personal property, educational hikes and tree walks in different areas. The educational hikes and tree walks are essentially free, which is nice. It would just require time, which is never free, but like, you know, we're not paying for it, so kind of free. We could do yoga under the trees as we've done in the past. We could do more, we could do less. We could, you know, do it only at Arbor Day, an hour before the start of Arbor Day, so we don't have people being uncomfortable while doing yoga at a widely attended public event, right? But still coincide it with Arbor Day. We do an Arbor Day Fest every year, guaranteed, and we do tree giveaways. And then this year in March, we're also doing the fruit tree planting, probably March.
Well, and we originally thought this year we'd be very busy with like the public engagement part of the Urban Forestry Management Plan grant. But now I don't
We
know.
might be
We may be.
a little later in the year.
Later.
We'll see.
Yes.
I really hope that plays out. I'd like to be involved in that.
Same. We're quite excited. Hesitantly, very excited. And then y'all were mentioned partnering with Audubon. Were you saying for
It
like
was just like an idea. I don't know anyone there. It was just like brainstorming. Yeah.
idea for like a plant sale, idea to partner birders with treers?
Oh, I've got an idea actually, because this is related to. So, and last year we did this. I know that the Master Gardeners would love to have Tree Board man a booth at the Master Gardener plant sale again,
we did do
which we
that.
did last year, and that is May 10th. It's a Saturday at the Conway Expo Center, and we have the educational materials to like have at a booth already, and like tablecloth and stuff like that. It is good to be able to answer a few questions, or at least tell people where to get their questions answered, like, you know, or keep a list of people. Unfortunately, my daughter is graduating that day, so I will not be there. But
Yeah, it's a
not
Saturday.
unfortunate. It's actually very fortunate. But
I have a lot
Bachelor's?
of Krista business courses, so.
Nice.
yeah.
Right.
Well, it also even works like if people are asking if people are asking really specific questions, you can even like have them write down their name and email and what the question is, and I'll respond back to them or something. Or maybe the business card's better.
Either way.
What were you thinking when you were mentioned Audubon?
When we were talking about different events to have, last meeting, we talked about maybe different things other than the yoga, so different things that we could do in parks, stuff like that. That was just some sort of birding event. I don't know if that's like a competition, or I don't even know how birding works exactly. I don't know if there's like a checklist or something, but just something to involve the Audubon Society with our parks in some way.
No, I absolutely love it.
Birds and trees go together.
Yeah. I've done quite a few birding events with Audubon. Typically, you and a group of people that you've never met before, often. Y'all have binoculars and you go hiking through, oftentimes it's like on nice trails and things, and you're just trying to find birds, and different people will call out the birds that you see, and so normally people will keep like a checklist.
Do you know
or
if
a
Audubon
list.
has binoculars that like
Yeah.
novices can use? Yeah. I know I've tried to bird and I can't see anything. I prefer plants that don't move.
And so it makes so much sense. Y'all are looking up typically at trees because that's where the birds are. Have somebody there that says, "Ooh, that's why that's a neat tree." I like it.
Would you want to reach out to someone from that group and see if we can get an event like that set up?
No.
Tyler, do you want to try to reach out to someone from that group?
Yeah, I can reach out to the plant person who talks to them all the time. I don't know the Audubon group, but I can get the contact information from her. They typically schedule plant sales there like once a month or so. So I was there just probably a few weeks back.
Feel free to reach out to them. Just CC me and Ryan on it.
Uh-huh.
And then that way, if they actually come back with like a contact, I don't mind reaching out and seeing if we can do a birding event. Once again, I'll kind of take their word for as far as time and stuff like that, because I got nothing, but ain't
Depends
afraid
on
to
how
do it.
much we're having fun. It can be an hour to a few.
We've
But
got
we can put a
several
time
options
on it.
for where to do it in town.
And then who is the guy at Hendrix that we should reach out to?
David Sutherland, and I can reach out to him, but I wonder if we should. Sometimes those are nice in the fall. I don't know.
We can kind of use some fall stuff right now.
Yeah.
So we're pretty busy right now in the spring. So I mean, I think if we ended up doing, so we had the fruit tree deal, we have the spring tree giveaway. If we end up doing the Bradford Pear Bounty thing, a birding event, a Hendrix walk, and then our Arbor Day thing. I mean, that looks pretty good.
Did you have Master Garden plant sale on there? I will say
May
that
10th.
So yes.
I think
So then
I think that ended up being pretty good for the tree board. Like I think we got a lot of interaction, and it's all local people.
And I bought a lot.
if we have all of that, and if
plants.
we're able to figure out something that we can possibly do for Art Walk, I think that'll be a pretty good
When
calendar
is Art Walk? I forgot about that one.
It's the first Friday
of every month.
of every month except not in the winter. I don't know when they start up again.
I'm not sure when they start, but soon.
But I do think us trying to do something with like some other little groups that are within town would be good. And like I said, I know the Art Walk, we've done it before.
No, we don't have to bring a big board out. I mean, we can do something simple,
It could be,
You know.
yeah, it could just be more of,
like an informational booth, maybe like a coloring page for kids.
it's nice to have some kind of kids thing.
Yeah.
Do we still have those leaf impressions? So we've got plastic cards that are in the shape.
Usually I say that, but now I'm like, where are they?
In the shape of a ton of different leaves, and so kids and adults, I had so much fun, can take crayons and just rub it over top of like card,
Yeah,
paper,
that's super simple.
crayon, and then it is the impression of the leaf, and then we can teach them about like, oh, that's a sawtooth oak, and it's here in Conway and here in Arkansas, and it's really cool, and they drop their leaves and acorns and whatever it is, depending on
I mean, I
age
think
of
just
kid.
doing that would be just
It's
fine.
easy.
Yeah.
And then have some of the like tree care information for the adults.
Just put a table up and.
Yeah.
And if we try to target that for more of like late summer, early fall, we could use that as also a way to.
I think it's kind of a way to advertise Arbor Day.
Arbor Day.
I think that's what we did last time that we did
Nice.
it. We did like maybe September.
And I had a good time. I didn't do much.
I mean,
but
that's a
it was out
fun
there.
community activity for sure.
Well, then what we'll do is feel free to come up with any other things between now and our next meeting. And then the next meeting, we'll vote on what we're officially going to do with all of these. To kind of jumpstart some stuff, does everyone feel good about the bounty thing? Because then I'll start getting
I
that
love
ran up
it.
the ladder of the city-wise and making sure that we're good as far as
Get
that
approval
goes.
for show me the
Let's,
body.
let's continue brainstorming the hashtag.
That's fair.
Did you search something?
I'm sure the city HR department appreciates that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like Ryan's just waiting to be like, dude, that was a dumb idea.
Wait for the camera to go off.
Okay, cool. Well then, if we don't have anything else, our next meeting will be March 3rd.
in between now and then, with everybody having access to the Google Drive, we should try to put all of these events into Excel sheet, calendar, whatever, what have you, so that we all see it, have access to it, and if it's in an Excel sheet in the Google Drive, different people can sign up for different things that they can attend, can help with, can volunteer with, so we can kind of see what the like management side of these different events looks like, and plan accordingly.
I'll work on that this week. I'll have that done by next week for sure. And that way, because that is another thing, like, all these ideas are super fun and all, but if no one's willing to go out there and work them, then they don't.
Especially if they all had to peak on Saturdays and you don't wanna give up all your Saturdays.
So like, even if we did do something where we're doing like a walking trail thing or the birding thing, it's not like everybody has to be there, but we definitely need some people
Like a
there
point
from-
person.
Some things that are longer, like the Master Gardener's Sale, it might be helpful to set up hourly. You know, I'll be there from 9 to 10, right after I buy a bunch of stuff or something like that.
Yeah.
But it sounds like we're good for the plant deal too, so if you wanna send whatever contact we need to get with
Okay.
as far as getting a booth there.
I'm really interested in getting some of those fruit trees behind the library as well. I don't know if there's anything that I can do to help with that. I'm over there all the time.
Okay.
Ryan's working on some stuff kind of more behind the scenes of getting us some kind of paperwork together with the library.
I know that Sean's timeline on what he's having done also has a lot to do with it.
There's some paperwork for a partnership that I'm working on, but it should be done by next
If I can
week.
be any assistance, I mean,
That way we have a clear understanding of what like everyone's supposed to be doing, because this is kind of the first time that at least I have been working with like, you know, the library, which is a county thing, and then city deal, so we're trying to make sure that we don't, you know, step on any toes or anything like that, so. And Sean's been great, he's been very understanding when we've talked to him about it and
he's
stuff
awesome.
like that, so. I think we're all on the same page of like helping each other, it's just now we're just making sure we clear up any kind of red tape as far as that goes.
And then as we're looking at events overarchingly and how different people will want to help with the board, please feel free to be very open and brutally honest about how you want to and don't want to help, right? So if you're somebody that likes to show up day of and just be there and work the event, that's amazing. If you're someone who doesn't like planning or having to contact people and figure out nitty-gritty details, say that. Be like, hey, I think that's a super neat idea. Will I help plan it out anymore? No. Will I be there? Probably, right? And like, please don't feel the need to sign up for more than you can take on or something you really don't want to do, right? Somebody else in the room might enjoy that aspect or have the time and space for it.
Well, honestly, I'd rather we do fewer things well
Than too many
than too
things.
much poorly.
I have a lot of time to devote to this, but sometimes I will have an 8-year-old with me and she's
Which is completely
just
fine.
Added
wonderful.
bonus.
She's just wonderful, she'll help everywhere we ask her to.
Yeah. Completely fine.
We are happy to answer endless tree questions and or nature biology questions. Most anything outside of that's not my wheelhouse and the answers are gonna get weird. Plants and biology, I gotcha.
Well, if we don't have anything else, it is 5:52.
Motion to adjourn.
Yep.
Second.
All in favor?